Welcome to the All Out Attack podcast. Today we're joined by Ruben. He's actually got his own football shirt business, so I'll leave the link to his Snapchat in the description below. But today we're doing our Premier League all-time 11, so it's quite a big one today.
So very strong debate points in this one.
From 1992 all the way up to now. So should we just get straight into it? The keeper.
Yeah.
I'll start with mine. So obviously you've got the main one that I think people are going to say Schmeichel, but for me, I'm going Cech.
Oh yeah, I was torn between three, to be fair. Cech, Peter Schmeichel, and Edwin van der Sar.
What a keeper Van der Sar was.
Yeah, Van der Sar. He was kind of the era that I started watching football, so I remember Van der Sar very well. But Schmeichel kind of has to be. I went with Schmeichel in the end. I initially had Van der Sar, but I opted for Schmeichel because, he done the best in Europe. He was the best in Europe, not just the Premier League, in my opinion. So,
for me though, the one thing I've got with Cech is he is by far clear of any keeper when it comes to most clean sheets. I think he's got something like the most saves per game. Like when he played, like obviously I'm happy to go with Peter Schmeichel with everyone else.
Yeah.
For me personally, it's Cech. But who have you gone with, Siraj?
Siraj, go for it. I've gone with Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah.
It's a tight one between him and Cech, really. I think Van der Sar was a great keeper. When I was younger, I always believed Van der Sar was the better keeper. But as I've gotten older, I realised how good Cech really was. Even he was just he was solid. You put him between the sticks, and he'd save pretty much everything. He was just so good in goal. And another distant shot was De Gea for me, but that was these three were like a level above.
I agree. These three are David Seaman for me. They're the elite.
I'll take De Gea over Seaman, but.
Okay, David Seaman he made some great saves, but I think he was just a bit too static sometimes. A bit too static off his line. He couldn't dive as much. That's
very
why
traditional.
Yeah, that's why a lot of England fans didn't like him playing in goal for England, because he was too static. Didn't go off his line as much. Didn't sort of move around. But obviously he was in that great Arsenal team, so he kind of has to be in for a shout. But yeah.
I would have him. I'd say I'd agree that the top three are quite a bit above the rest, to be honest.
Yeah.
Edwin van der Sar, Cech, and Schmeichel for me.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Schmeichel was mine. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ruben, who have you gone for?
It was between Van der Sar and Cech for me. I think Cech's good consistently. He's been in the league for so long. But I went Van der Sar.
Okay.
Just because he's got consistency, and he can pull up in the big games. I think he's got the record for the most consecutive clean sheets. He's got 4 Premier League titles, Champions League, 2-time Golden Glover, and he can do it. He can do it when it matters. So that's why I've gone for him. But I can see why people would say Cech and Schmeichel, of course.
Van der Sar, best value signing ever, man.
For sure.
For £2 million in 2000.
Jamie Vardy. I think we're Corona, lads. Jamie Vardy for me.
Oh yeah,
that's a conversation.
I
think we're agreed with Schmeichel then. If two to Schmeichel and one to So for right back, I'm gonna ruffle a few feathers here. I know that for a fact.
Kieran, I've agreed with you on this. I think I know who you got.
The Russian Branislav Ivanovic.
I have also gone for him.
Ivanovic, quality. I think Ivanovic was quality. I think he was a great defender. He was tough. He was a right back, but he played very much like a centre back. In the way, like a centre back, you have like a Terry or you have like a Vidic, strong on the ball and, just taking the strikers and the wingers off the ball. So he played very much like a centre back. But for me, it has to be Pablo Zabaleta.
Oh, that's that. I'll tell you what, Zabaleta was up there for me. It was between Ivanovic, Zabaleta, and Neville. But I went with Ivanovic just because I feel like defensively,
I've had a chance to put a former West Ham player in. I completely fucking pulled it.
He was going to put like Aaron Cresswell, wasn't he?
I had a chance. Pablo Zabaleta, former West Ham. I could have put him in there, but no, I went for Ivanovic. Because
he's going to put Lanzini in midfield just for that goal.
No, Zabaleta, 100%. He's top player. He's such a gentleman as well. He's so class on the ball. You won't find a harder working player than Zabaleta on his day as well.
Yeah.
But with Ivanovic though, he was always getting stuck in. Whether it was a Premier League game, a Champions League game, he was always getting stuck in, and he was quite good on the ball. To be fair, he wasn't that bad.
Oh yeah, go on.
But yeah, he's actually still playing in the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah.
For West Brom.
He's a centre back.
I feel like with those two players, they both hurt. Like they kind of not hurt their legacy, but you kind of forget because they kind of just go on. They keep playing the Prem, but you just forget how good they are in their prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is with Ivanovic, I actually think how he got forward is actually quite underrated. He scored a lot of goals. I don't know how.
That's what I was going to say. His goal scoring record was fairly good for Chelsea. He's always a hard player to come up against if you're a winger. You didn't want to come up against him.
So, Ruben, who have you gone for?
I've gone for Gary Neville, just on the basis that if you're picking a team and he's like a team player, isn't he? So you guys, you got to stand out right back. But I've gone for Gary Neville. He's won 20 trophies, player of the. You got in the team of the decade, and he's a big team player. So I've gone for him. You'll get the job done basically. You put him in right back. There's not many errors coming out of him.
I'll tell you what, I respect that a lot. I think he was. I was considering it purely for the trophies factor, but I went with Ivanovic. But Gary Neville, solid shout, and he's English as well. He
was in my original team, but then I gave it a bit more thought, and I think if we're going man for man, technically, I would pick Zabaleta.
Exactly. So, if you're going man for man, you go that way. But I've gone for kind of who'd best in the team.
Yeah, fair enough. So overall, is that Ivanovic? Because we do whoever got the most, if you get me. So far it's been quite split actually between. But I think it's only going to get harder.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe, I feel like this one may be the centre backs. We might have I've gone with captain, leader, legend John Terry. And in my opinion, one of the best, not only one of the best centre backs in Premier League history, one of the best players in Premier League history, Nemanja Vidic.
Ooh.
I did not see that coming.
I went for Ferdinand over Vidic. I don't know.
What? It's actually very close because the thing is with them two is that it wasn't like a PK Pio where Pio was a lot better than PK. Ferdinand and Vidic were both so good, but for me, I just had to give the edge to Vidic purely because he was solid at the back, but he had the attacking threat as well. Like he scored so many goals from headers.
The only reason I went for Ferdinand, he did well at West Ham, did well at Leeds, did well with his little stint at QPR, and he did obviously he won God knows how many titles with Man United as well.
Yeah,
in terms of the whole Premier League, he's had more games under his belt than Vidic. And he's probably more. I'm not taking anything away from Vidic because he's one of my favourite players of all time. Vidic, I thought he was great, and he's one of the players that I had the pleasure of watching against West Ham when we played in the FA Cup one time. Yeah, and he was he's one of them no nonsense centre halves. But for me, I've got to go with Rio Ferdinand. I love Rio Ferdinand though. Yeah. He's one of my favourite pundits, one of my favourite players. So,
mate, what a pundit he is, by the way. I really like him as a pundit.
But the only good one for BT, to be honest.
The reason
Champions League.
The reason why I've gone Vidic is because I just think, imagine you've got one of the best players in the world running at you. If I could pick any centre back who I've seen play in my lifetime, to deal with a striker running at them, 1-on-1, I'm picking Vidic. There's no. That is so. If we're going man for man, I just think I mean, I can accept Ferdinand in the team because obviously it's the majority wins. But for me, I think Vidic is like in a different level.
Oh yeah, I've got no issues with Vidic being there whatsoever. But yeah.
Are we 2-2?
I've gone. You hit my picks. I've gone way left field. I went for Vincent Kompany. I thought that was
I got Vincent Kompany.
Yeah, fair shout. Yeah.
4 Prem titles. He got goal of the season as well. Do you remember the 2019 goal?
That goal was sick.
Goal of the season. 2 FA Cups. What more do you need? And the one I went to Van Dijk. I think by the end of his career, he's going to be considered one of the best defenders ever played in the Premier League. I mean, he nearly won the Ballon d'Or. So, and Liverpool are broken basically without him, aren't they? So
I'll tell you what. Van Dijk had one of the best individual seasons that I've ever seen from a centre back.
100%.
He didn't get. Let's remember, I know this stat gets used a lot, but he didn't get dribbled past for the whole of the 2018-19 season. Like that is actually insane. Like imagine, like no other players come close to that.
I think he would have had a good season this season. I think he was trying again. I think it would have been Liverpool and Man City battling for the title if he didn't get injured, in my opinion, because that's one of main Liverpool's downfalls this season was the lack of a centre back, and he was that rock at the back for them. So the fact they don't have him, I feel like that's that was their biggest downfall this season, and I've no doubt about it. He's going to go down as one of the all-time, or if not the best, one of the best centre halves of all time, not just in the Premier League. So yeah, it's a big miss for them, but I don't think he would get in my all-time
Not yet.
11. Not quite yet for me, but I can definitely see where you're coming. So overall, is that who's your other centre back, Sarah? Was it Terry?
So mine is Kompany and Vidic. I chose.
Okay.
And
I've gone Vidic and Terry.
I went Terry and Ferdinand. I went for the very English theme.
Yeah.
I'm
not surprised, to be honest.
But yeah, I just looking through my team, I did go for a very English themed team. Looking back at my 11, but
to be fair, I've got quite a few English players.
I've got a very British team, but yeah.
So I think Terry and Vidic are the only people who've got 2.
Yeah, I'd say Terry and Vidic. Why not?
Terry
go,
and Vidic
let's...
with...
Actually, no, Kompany.
Kompany got 2 as well. Me and Sarah got Kompany.
So it's out of Kompany or Terry.
Oh, it's out of Kompany, Terry or Vidic.
No, Vidic is in.
Yeah, I love Vidic in. I'll agree with that.
Terry
even if
Kompany?
I didn't.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
For me personally,
I think Terry is a legend. For Chelsea. Apart from when he slipped in the 08 final, but he's a Chelsea legend. Great defenders, always been solid, and for England as well. Ferdinand was quite good for England, but like Terry was different class at England, especially in that defense. For the keepers, he just made the job so much easier. And
we have a
okay.
dilemma here, don't we?
Okay, think about it. Right, it's your team, and you can have either prime Kompany or prime Terry in your team. Who you having?
It's easy. John Terry.
Yeah, prime Terry, but if you look over the whole career though.
You know what? I can accept Terry, but I just think people overlook Kompany because what Kompany did at Man City, what he brought to their defense, his leadership. He's very much not really a similar player to John Terry, but in the sense of what he brought to City, he was very much I guess he's City's first legend, really, what he did for the club. And I just think the Premier League titles they've won. I know in Champions League they didn't get far, but I don't know. For me, just Vincent Kompany, going up against him in defence, it's just, Terry. Don't get me wrong, Terry is great as well, but I would be shitting myself if I saw Kompany in their defence.
Bloody hell!
If I saw any of players in the defence.
I'd never thought I'd be sat here in a position where I had to back John Terry of all people. I feel a bit dirty doing that.
I don't. I love John Terry. I think he's a great player and a great person as well.
Ruben?
I'll go off then.
I'm alright with. I'll accept Terry. I'll accept.
Fair enough.
All right, calm.
Terry and Vidic. All right, fair
Left
enough.
back. I don't know about the United fans, but I feel like this was the easiest position I had to pick.
Let's see it.
Ashley Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I had to.
Mate, I just want
Me,
to
only
say,
on-
both defensively and attackingly, defensively and offensively, Ashley Cole, for me, is the best defensive left back that the Premier League's ever seen and the best attacking left back that the Premier League's ever seen.
One of the best England have
He's
had
won
in a while.
everything as well. He's won everything. He's got the most FA Cup wins of any Premier League player ever.
Yeah.
You do Arsenal and Chelsea, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's done it everywhere as well.
I just think,
Easy
yeah,
decision.
even though he cheated on Cheryl Cole, which, you know, how has he done that? I still think Ashley Cole, you know, what a legend.
Big shout out to Stuart Pearce though.
And Patrice Evra and Dennis Irwin as well.
Yeah,
Both
that's what I was gonna
fantastic.
say. I originally had Irwin and Evra were great as well, going up attacking. But I think Cole was just so complete. I don't think there's many more complete left backs in him.
I know you lot are gonna judge this quite a bit, but I also think another honourable mention for left back, Andrew Robertson. For the season he had last season, he was actually class.
I think
know he didn't
right
have
now,
longevity.
even at their fullbacks, I just think I thought it was a bit sad to see Trent get all the recognition.
Yeah.
Robertson on the left side is I think Robertson is twice the player Trent is, in my opinion. I think just his overall game, I think.
Yeah, because people list them together, but really, you got to look at them individually as well.
So that was fairly easy.
I mean, I was gonna say Julian Dix, but we've got too many Dicks in the lineup with John Terry, so moving on.
Yeah.
I mean, so should we? Speaking of Dicks, that's a weird thing to start thing with, but my first choice centre mid, and in my opinion, one of the best players in the Premier League era, just in any position. I'm going to fight for him to be in this team, is Roy Keane.
Yeah. Roy Keane's
I got him in there.
But for me, it was a tough choice here. But I had to pick Paul Scholes.
What? Paul Scholes your first centre mid?
Yeah, Paul Scholes, yeah.
See, the thing is, Paul Scholes, he's won everything you have to win. And I'm not denying he is one of the best passers of the ball I've ever seen play.
But Scholes could finish as well. He had the ability, in the box, he could turn into a poacher as well. He was a very well-rounded player. People don't realise his attacking capabilities as well.
His attacking capabilities were okay, but I mean, it wasn't.
There's nothing. It was world class, but Keane for me is on another level.
Keane's the best leader in modern football.
Yeah.
In terms of, if you want to get someone to motivate your team, Roy Keane, there's no one quite like him. And
I think he's the only player that can make Patrick Vieira shit himself.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's in my team. He's in my team as well. He's
not your first.
Him and Scholes. It was originally Gerrard as my other centre mid, but then I just thought about it and I was like, that centre mid combination of Keane and Scholes was different. That hit differently. Recently I was watching, the treble run and just seeing, especially Keane in that 99 semi-final against Juventus and that individual performance from him.
I've gone through a very England golden era thing
with Gerald Lampard.
No, I haven't got no Gerald Lampard.
No.
Yeah, I had Gerald Lampard originally. I did. I went for a very golden era of England lineup, but I'm just thinking about if there's a lineup with all the players in their prime, metaphorically played against each other, what team would I want out? Yeah. And I feel like Gerrard and Lampard, they never really worked in the same team that well together, which is kind of it's a shame really. But another thing, I was half tempted to put David Beckham, but I know he plays more on the left than in the middle.
There's the thing is, I think David Beckham is a great footballer, don't get me wrong. However, I think he does sometimes I'm going to get hated for this, but I think he sometimes gets overrated because of his looks and because of what he's done after football.
Yeah, outside of football.
Oh because he was a bit of a poster boy in the sort of 90s, early 2000s sort of thing, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's
is that what
I mean.
You're saying?
He was like Ronaldo is now, but obviously
Ronaldo's got the ability, Well, I mean, Beckham had it as
yeah.
well, but
I'll change my centre mid actually. I'll put Gerrard over Keane. That's what I originally went for. I think
Oh,
Gerrard.
really?
Gerrard and Scholes. Yeah,
Gerrard
I
over
think Gerrard.
really,
Yeah, I just think yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say mine. Okay, I've changed mine because I keep on changing to and from these two players. But so it was between Keane and Gerrard,
Yeah.
or Keane and Vieira, and I've gone with Keane and Vieira,
Yeah.
and I've given in because I was thinking like doesn't matter that Gerrard hasn't won a Premier League, but I've given in because
Yeah.
Vieira literally. I think
Yeah.
he was captain of the Invincibles, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
again, I just as much as I hate him, I hate him with a passion. But in terms of goals from midfielders, you've got to pick Lampard in that. In terms of goal score,
Yeah,
like,
goal scoring midfielder.
Yeah.
He's the best. He's the best goal scoring centre mid.
But that's why it's so tight. Like David Silva is a great centre mid cam. Like
he's
so
like
many.
you got De Bruyne as well, which is no one's even speaking about De Bruyne, which is weird. But
I think if De Bruyne carries on like this, he could be in my team.
I don't think we're taking centre attacking mids into account. I think we're more thinking of the sort of your box to box sort of sort of so-called number 8 position sort of thing. That's
what are your two? I went Gerrard and Keane.
Gerrard and Keane, you've gone.
Yeah.
I've
gone Vieira and Keane.
I've gone
Definitely.
Gerrard and Scholes.
I want Gerrard and Lampard.
So Gerrard.
So Gerrard's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Keane as well.
And then Keane is 2 votes for
Can I just
Keane.
say one thing about Vieira? I know he's out of the contention because I'm the only one who's put him in. For me, Vieira is the only person out of these who would get. Actually, no, Gerrard as well. But like, Vieira would take one for the team.
Yeah.
But he could also be like one of the best box to box, and he could do all the fancy stuff. Like, so I mean, I was torn between Vieira and Gerrard, so I'm very happy to have Gerrard and Keane as the two.
Yeah, I'm not taking it away from any of them because it's such a hard debate. The midfield position I knew was going to be the hardest debate for us.
It's insane the amount of centre mid.
And you're finding me backing up players that I absolutely hate as well, which is it shows that I'm not. To be fair, one of the main reasons I put Lampard in there was to show I'm not being biased, and I'm I'm willing to look about like common sense wise.
See, I loved Lampard. I thought he was a great player. Like the amount of goals he scored in the field, I love. But for me, it's just there's that level. For me, Vieira and Keane. Yeah. Anyway, Vieira and Keane for me. But yeah, we're going with Keane and Gerrard.
Let's do it.
But yeah,
I'm happy with that because that was my original too. So. Yeah.
And then. Who are we going for right mids?
There's only one person that can possibly get right mid, and this because he played as a right mid for United. And
that's right.
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
Aiden, I think he's gone to collect his package, hasn't he? But we'll wait to see what he's saying. But just quickly on Ronaldo, like obviously for me, everyone knows I think he's the GOAT. But not only that, like for United, he was pretty young while he was at United.
Yeah.
I think he left when he was about 24, 25.
Yeah, it's 24, 24.
Yeah, 24. And like, considering he was that young to have that much of an influence on like one of the best teams probably the best team in the world at the time, and like to come into that team as like a 20-year-old. And be the star man.
Even 18.
I remember I managed to relate this back to Millwall somehow from Cristiano Ronaldo. But I remember seeing him in the FA Cup final in 2004. Like obviously I didn't see him there because I was 2. But like I've seen clips and he was insane, and that was when he was like 19. And like so you know what? Fair play. Like I think he's one of the greatest players playing in the Premier League, and yet he was so young while he was here.
One of the other things about Ronaldo was he'd already won the Ballon d'Or. He was already the best player in the world at United at 24, and people thought like, where does it go from here? Like, doesn't seem like he can get much better, but he's shown us time and time again that that he's gonna keep improving his game even now, like even at like 35, like he's obviously he's come off his peak, but like. He hasn't like let off. He's still in contention as one of the best players in the world.
He's a top scorer. He's a top for a 36-year-old,
Yeah.
top scorer
Top-
in Serie A this season.
Yeah.
And Serie A has been he's joint with Lukaku actually, but
Remember?
Serie A has been very competitive this year.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Ronaldo, I think the fact that we're putting him in a Premier League team, even though he left when
At the age
he
of
was
24.
24,
Yeah.
and
Crazy.
yet
All of
all
you
of
have-
us are just
wait,
saying
what
straight away
position?
Ronaldo.
What
Right
position
mid.
is this?
Right mid.
Right mid. Yeah, I had Ronaldo as mine, to be fair, but
Yeah.
I regret that.
What?
Kind of. In terms of Premier because I was thinking Premier League. And
Yeah,
You're
he was a
deluded
legend
if
at
you have
Premier
anyone else
I'd
but Ronaldo
say.
in that position.
That 07 to 09.
you know, I haven't got Ronaldo, but I was because it was the point you just raised about what he actually done in the Premier League. Are we putting him in there for what he's done in
No,
general?
No,
Premier League.
that's
Yeah,
what I
it's
was
gonna be
saying. The
careful
point I
about.
made is he didn't peak in the Prem. He didn't peak in the Prem, yet he's still that good that he's. One of the
Yeah,
best
no,
players
100%.
ever.
He was straight in mine. To be fair,
Yeah.
Yeah. But also honourable mentions for that position. There's quite a few. Alexis Sanchez. I know
He
he's
was
on the
another
left
shout
quite a
for me.
bit, but he's a right mid.
David Beckham.
David Beckham, yeah, definite honourable mention. Juan
Is
Mata
this left mid,
for
yeah?
Chelsea,
Yeah.
underrated.
Oh, Mata at Chelsea. Even
Mata at
in
Chelsea
his-
was different gravy.
yeah.
He was insane. But yeah, there's been some good ones. But yeah, as I said,
Even for
Ronaldo-
centre mid, like what's his name? Yaya Toure is one that we didn't mention.
See,
And
that's the thing. He was
yeah.
insane, and no one mentioned.
yeah, and I was thinking of mentioning, and Cesc Fabregas is another one.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
obviously, like there's a lot of people probably above him, but yeah, there's so many class players in those squads.
Mate, the Premier League, I think best league in the world by a long way.
Yeah, 100%.
By like any other league, Premier
Mm.
League.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're moving on to left midfielders now, I believe.
Yeah.
This was the easiest one for me. To be fair, I know I was torn between two. To be fair,
Wait, what
Have
position?
you gone
Sorry.
with Giggs?
I've gone with Giggs because I still say he's one of the best players I've ever seen live.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But honourable mention to Eden Hazard as well.
For me, I've gone with the man. I've gone with Eden Hazard. I
This
know
left wing.
Siraj is gonna.
I was thinking about the best players I've seen live, and I never take into account that I've seen Eden Hazard. I always go for Giggs. I always say they said what's the best player you've seen live, and obviously
You'd say
I would say
Eden Hazard. Wait, sorry, no, oh yeah, you carry on. Sorry.
I would just say that Giggs, like
Yeah.
on his day, I think I'd rather have Giggs in my team than Eden Hazard.
Nah.
Controversial.
For me,
Yeah.
Giggs has the longevity by far over Hazard. Like, I'm not denying that, but I think if you're saying prime Giggs or prime Hazard, for me, prime Hazard was like one of the best ever Premier League players.
I think he had like one good season.
Not
2012-13. Was it 2012-13? I think it's 2012-13. You know, yeah.
Wait,
No,
what
I just
position
think,
are we talking
I
about?
just think Hazard was, you know, I was a bit harsh on him when I used to hate Hazard. But like I was a bit harsh of me. But I think I don't know. Like, would you not think of putting Bale in over Hazard?
Nah, but Bale can do this.
I'd think about it. I'd think about it for like a second and then realise Hazard's way better. Do you know what I mean?
Position.
No, I will 100%. It's controversial.
Bale's done more in his career though.
Yeah, but we're speaking about Premier League. Bale didn't win.
I think that's one of the things about Hazard as well. Like he was, you know, young and he did so well at Chelsea, and then, you know, Real just hasn't really worked out for him, hasn't it?
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, we're speaking about what they did in the Prem.
What I'm saying is like that's tarnished his legacy a bit, but
I think Hazard I just still remember that goal, like with that Europa League final against Arsenal when they went.
Was it 4-0?
They destroyed them. Like, that is one of the best individual performances I've seen. Yeah, it was something like that. I can't remember the exact score, but I remember Hazard was literally like it was his last ever before he went to Real Madrid, and like he was actually different levels. But I'm interested to hear, Siraj, who have you gone for left mid?
Obviously, Giggsy is an option I went for, but I put George Best in mine. Is it
George Best?
Yeah.
He was
Wait.
Premier League.
Is this Premier League?
Yeah.
I thought
The
you meant
whole
like
video.
all time. If it's not Premier, then I'll agree with Aiden. I'll go Giggsy.
Oh,
Oh no, no,
Jordan,
no. Oh no, if it was all time, Bobby Moore was getting straight in mine, but
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if it was
Yeah,
all
fair
time, the
enough.
team would be completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on. Wait, so you've gone with Giggs then, Sarah?
Yeah, I'll go on Giggsy.
All right.
well, we've got
Ruben?
another United fan, so this will be interesting.
Wait, so let's hear what everyone has gone for so far.
Hazard,
I've gone
Hazard,
Giggs.
Aiden Giggs, and Siraj Giggs.
You want Hazard as a left mid?
Yeah, that's where he played.
Left winger, isn't he? Just forward.
Yeah,
Nah, come on,
left
come on.
wing, left mid,
Left-sided mid. Nah,
Yeah, I'm going with the boys. I'm going with Siraj and
That's-
Aiden on this one.
Okay, I'll consider Giggs
yeah.
because Giggs is a legend. So
No, I'm gonna be honest. Giggs was the first player I thought about when I thought, oh, left mid Giggs, easy. Didn't even think about Hazard whatsoever.
exactly. That's what I mean. Giggsy, like you've got to consider him, but yeah. For me, like while they're at their peak, Hazard. But I mean, yeah.
Okay, in terms of skill, Hazard tops it. In terms of dribbling ability,
Hazard.
You're saying Hazard over Giggs? What about
Hazard in terms of dribbling ability is one of the best players Premier League's ever seen.
Thing is, people don't see that Ryan Giggs in terms of skill wasn't actually that bad. He did have some
quality.
He did have some
goal against Arsenal in the '99 semi-final.
I remember one from, I can't describe it. You know that feeling when you're playing FIFA and you keep holding LT every time you do a pass, you do that silly like spin pass. I've seen Giggs pull them off like in the Premier League, but like it's nothing. So
well, that one's done.
Yeah, Giggs obviously in the '90s. Obviously, when you got to the 2000s, he became obviously a bit. He obviously got older. He became slower, and he was just a bit more. He was more of like a composed and player instead of the quick winger that he once was. But
you know what? I'm very happy. As I say, it was very tough between those two. I did think about Bale, but I mean, yeah. I think it was between those two, and I'm happy to let you lot have Giggs. I think Giggs, he's one of the biggest. Like, if you're talking about legends.
Yeah,
he's a legend. He's a legend over Hazard. I just think.
Harris trust league as well.
Oh, this one for me is even harder than centre mids strikers.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I went for two straight off the top of my head, and it's probably the most obvious ones.
What, Omri and Shearer?
I've got Omri and Shearer, but I was so Rooney and Aguero were other ones that just missed out.
For me, it was Henry. I went with Henry and Shearer as well, actually. But for me, this is going to sound really weird, and just bear with me. I think Rooney is a better footballer than Alan Shearer. However, if we're talking Premier League, I can't justify myself not putting the Premier League top scorer in the team.
Yeah, it's just he kind of has to. And how many?
He has to be in there.
And he's won a Premier League as well. It's not like he hasn't. He's won the league. So
with Blackburn.
I went for Henry. One person that really sprung to my mind was Michael Owen. I was thinking.
Oh yeah, Ballon d'Or.
But because he's one of the few English players to ever win a Ballon d'Or, so he was one. I don't want to be biased in my team, and I really want to put Shearer in there, and even Rooney as well. But I went with Eric Cantona.
I mean, I was gonna say for me, Aguero's brilliant, but my top four would be Henry, Shearer, Rooney, Cantona. Cantona actually changing it, like he did a more extreme version of what Bruno's doing at the moment.
No, he was the missing piece. Like Fergie need that player to push us to the title, to get us, that. To win us the title, because Fergie had been there for 6 years and they'd won an FA Cup and the European Cup, Winners' Cup, whatever. They hadn't had the Premier League title, and he came in from Leeds and he transformed it. He
and
was
honestly, what a personality as well! Like booting the
what you guys have said.
Just kicking. He was crazy.
He definitely brought something to the Premier League. But another weird one that he's probably not even in my top 5, but for me, like a player who I think so underappreciated is RVP.
Yeah.
Like
that man broke my heart so many times.
Sorry.
The amount of goals that guy scored against West Ham, he broke my heart so many times.
I feel sorry for the Arsenal fans, man.
Yeah.
RVP,
we took him away from there.
I think he is one of the like most entertaining players to watch when he was in his prime. When he was at Arsenal in his first season at United,
Yeah.
he was actually. I used to love even though I hated United. And
Yeah.
I never minded Arsenal, but I remember my favourite one of his goals when Rooney floated the ball. I think it was against Villa, or it might have been against West Ham, when Rooney floated the ball all the way from the halfway line over the top, and Van Persie volleys it, goes posting in.
No, he scored a similar goal against, not on the volley. It was in the FA Cup. Giggsy put an absolute worldie of a cross in, and he got the end of it and put it in the 90th minute or whatever against us. Remember that? I remember I was there for that, and it was
the best RVP one was the free kick in the 92nd minute against Man City, where he stepped up, and it wasn't the best goal, but we were sitting there at the edge of our seats. We were like, like, this needs to go, and we need to win, because City had destroyed us the season before, like 6-1, and we were like, City were just getting the upper hand over us. Picks in, Nasri bloody just jumps out of the wall, and it just goes through. It sort of like it takes that deflection, and it goes past Hart, and like that feeling in that last minute.
For me, my favourite one was when he jumped, like it was in his early days at Arsenal. I'm not going to stand up and do it, but when he kind of like jumped up and volleyed it, like
Against Charlton.
Yeah, against Charlton.
Yeah, that was.
I swear that guy, he got like the unfairest red card I've ever seen. Yeah. I don't know. He was in the Champions League. I think he got the most unfair red card. He was already on a booking. Yeah, he was already on a booking. Didn't hear the whistle, so rolled the ball in the back of the net because he didn't hear the whistle. Then the referee wanted to set him off for it.
You just look so confused.
Wait, so we've got Henri Shearer. Aiden's gone Henri Shearer. Siraj has gone Henri Cantona. Am I right?
So Henri's in automatically.
Henri's in, but I think we knew that. Ruben.
I've got Henri Shearer as well for the same reasons.
Sorry, Shearer's in.
So Henri and Shearer. Do I even need to ask who the manager is?
Wait, have we done right mid?
Yeah.
Ronaldo. Yeah.
The manager is pretty obvious to me. Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Wenger, obviously.
I was going to say the top three are a bit obvious. It's Fergie, Wenger, and Mourinho.
But in order, Fergie, Mourinho, Wenger for me.
Yeah.
I like
that. But yeah, that's the team. I'll tell you what, that is that team would win everything.
Yeah,
just imagine there's not obvious. This is obvious to say, but there's not a weak part of that team.
No.
Nah.
With Schmeichel's goal as well. Obviously that was Kieran's choice, but like, it's just he's like 6'5", and he was acrobatic as well. Like some of the saves he used to make.
Oh mate,
you'd be covered.
Even though he wasn't in my team, I have a lot of time for Schmeichel.
Yeah.
Like he is an absolute Premier League legend, and I'm happy. I'm kind of happy he's in the team.
There's not many keepers.
The same with Giggs as well.
Yeah, there's not a lot of keepers like him anymore. Him and like Oliver Kahn, like bigger keepers. A lot of keepers nowadays are more like acrobatic. More inspired by Casillas and De Gea.
Yeah, and obviously Neuer as well.
Neuer, that's what I mean. Neuer is like a reminder of like the classic keepers, of the sort of sweepers, the leaders in the pack, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
do you think you'd go Ronaldo over Bergkamp?
Ooh.
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
How?
Bergkamp was class, but Ronaldo's
Ronaldo.
At 26 though, that's what I'm just at 24. That's the only thing I would be thinking. Like I put Ronaldo, but it'd be a close one, I think.
It is close, yeah. It's close.
Bergkamp's finishing was dirty.
That goal against Newcastle was one of my favourites.
That's what I was going to say. I think we need to do a part 2 on this, but with great goals.
Oh yeah, top 10, little top 10.
Let's do that.
Or we could do what we did for the Champions League special and just go. Everyone picks their top 3, and we can culminate.
One Champions League goal I actually forgot was Scholes versus Barcelona in 2008, where he just banged it from like 40 yards out.
Mate,
was that 35 yards? Yeah, he just smacked.
But I will happily do that in the next one.
We could do it in the next. I've got a few ideas. So
yeah.
But I'm always willing to know what you lot want to see us do. But yeah, obviously, I'll be happy to do the goal one. But I think we'll wrap it up.
After seeing Siraj's mad editing on the last one, I kind of want to do another goals one. But
definitely. Siraj actually smashed that. Shout out.
Yeah.
But yeah, cheers for watching, lads.
Yeah, thanks for
Have a
watching.
good evening.
You
Hopefully, Newcastle smashing Chelsea, but we'll see.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
Anyway,
thanks for coming on, Ruben, man.
yeah, cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Remember to add his snap.
Oh yeah.
The football one. Put it in the description. But yeah.